Hello YouTube. Here we are again. We've got some time, so let's put a video together for you. This is Rakdos Midrange in Modern. We grabbed this list from the 5.0s. Let's see how we do. See you in the deck tech. Rakdos Midrange here in Modern. Why it's called Midrange, I can't quite put my finger on it. It's a little more lower to the ground than I would classify. That being said, it is from the 5.0 dumps recently, and this is what it looks like. Now, what's interesting to me is we've got Magmatic Channeler. And I'm kind of excited about this card. I've been excited since I've seen it, and I haven't seen it put to too much use. We're going to be using it here, potentially a 4/4, and maybe that's what makes it mid-range. You would take Jund, and you wouldn't necessarily say Jund is aggro, even though Tarmogoyf is a converted mana cost of 2, and likewise here we have a relatively large creature, along with Kroxa. And I suppose Kroxa is kind of like our Bloodbraid Elf, in that on 4, it comes out as a 6/6. Overall, though, it's kind of close to that dark Pyro Prison-esque feel. We've got Blood Moons here and Seasoned Pyromancers and Kroxas. We also have the Inquisition and Thoughtseize package here to disrupt our opponent's hands. Liliana the Veil is coming back here, and we'll see if she makes her name be heard. And then sideboard, we have the new Feed the Swarm, some Collective Brutalities, a few Pillages in case we need to kill some lands, and then a lot of Nile Spell Bombs. We'll see if that matters. K-Command's kind of a cool inclusion as well. Very versatile card. Overall, it is a well-rounded list, and I'm excited to run it here. Let's go ahead, let's jump into the matches and see how it goes for us. Rakdos Midrange in Modern. Match 1, here we go. Looking for our opponent, playing the Rakdos Midrange in Modern, and finding our opponent immediately. It's always good to do so. Let's queue up. Let's go. And we're against Albert62. Let's play first. Always a good place to be. Got a couple Blood Moons, a few pieces of interaction, and a Liliana. No hand disruption. We'll go ahead and keep, though. Go ahead and keep. We'll probably lead with a Marsh Flats here. See if I have to use these bolts. We'll see if Blood Moon's a thing that we want to be doing as well. Alright, our opponent keeps, and we'll be playing some Magic. We'll lead off with our Marsh Flats here. Took our opponent a little bit of time. We'll probably cut that out. Here we go. Hallowed Fountain. Well, that's not not a creature deck necessarily. We'll see if we hit our extra lands here. I'd love to be able to slam a Blood Moon at this point. Alright, we do hit our land drops here. Probably worth going and getting a couple black sources, and then also red here for the lightning bolt. A Temple Garden here. Let's fetch Blood Crypt here. And we'll fetch basic as well. And I really do think I'm just going to try to slam down a Blood Moon here. Going to go ahead and play this, getting our second black here, and attempt a Blood Moon. Now they could have a mana leak. We'll see. A Growth Spiral here is played. Well, that's a good sign for us. Blood Moon may be very potent here. Prepping ourselves for this Liliana next. Do they have a basic? Do you have a basic? Flooded Strand is found here. At least they get to have one of their basics. Decides basics plains. Alright. So basic plains, very Bant in colors. Oh, they have an island as well. Island as well. Well, let's try to get a Liliana down first, then maybe a Dark Confidant. We'll go ahead and go up here. I feel fairly safe getting rid of the Blood Moon. So let's do that. Hopefully they won't bounce my other one here. There goes the Euro. Fine by me. Would love to play Dark Confidant and Bolt in their face. Get this game over with quickly. Scalding Tarn. Go to end step. We're just going to throw a Bolt at the face. And Marsh Flats. We can uptick here. I could be playing the Marsh Flats. At this point, I don't really think I care about having a Marsh Flats out. Dark Confidant, and this lets me hold the bolt for a turn. We're looking pretty good at the moment. Lonely Sandbar is cycled here. We're almost at the point where I might be able to just ultimate Lily too. Wonder if I do that. 3 mana, 4 mana, blue-white. Do we have a Teferi? Having a Teferi, then I wish I would have had the extra Blood Moon here. They can play this off of the Temple Garden and get one more blue. It is Teferi. We do not fire off our Lightning Bolt in response, because we may be using that against this Teferi. Scalding Tarn is free at this point. Paths. I'll get a little more red, because then I could cantrip the Sunbaked Canyon here. I think I replay Blood Moon here. Not sure Teferi is worth a bolt. Wondering if I should go up with the Liliana here as well. So Blood Moon sticks here. I could bolt this Teferi. I could also just wait. I should have tapped slightly differently for our Dark Confidant here. Let's just pass the turn here and not do anything. Slightly punished for the way I tapped that out. Alright, Fairy goes up here. We get our turn back. We get to Thoughtseize. Lightning Bolt to Fairy, perhaps. Alright, see Cryptic, Growth Spiral, Hour of Promise. So I'd probably just take Cryptic here. Taking Cryptic seems fine. We'll play a Dark Confidant. I will bolt to Fairy. We'll uptick with Liliana here and see what else they pitch. Probably... Oh, get rid of an Hour. I suppose they're just a green source away from this Omnath. Breeding Pool. So we know the 2 cards here. Dark Confidant trigger. Find a Liliana and a Blood Moon. Well, we can downtick this Liliana now. I'm just going to separate the... just like this. Here. We'll do it this way. You can have either islands or you can have the plains with a bunch of mana. Growth Spiral and a lot of their cards are blue, so I'd rather give them less mana here. And I'm splitting the basics. Feels pretty good here to separate this out. They decide plains is what they'd like to keep. I don't think I need another Blood Moon here. Not when they don't have blue here now for a extra Teferi. We'll go up with Liliana getting rid of our Blood Moon. And they get rid of a Growth Spiral. They have Omnath. We'll attack for 2. Looking fairly solid here at the beginning. Looking fairly solid, and it looks like we get the game. Opponent concedes here. Omnath Euro pile. Let's make it happen. Alright. Pillage interests me a little bit. Necromentia is interesting. We can choose a card. We can basically look for it. We could get rid of Euro. We could get rid of Omnath here pretty quickly. Kind of interests me. Spell Bomb interests me as well. Fatal Push probably won't kill Euro or Omnath very easily, so that's an easy takeout. I'm not too convinced the K command's very good here. That's 5. That could be these 5. Necromentia may not be the right card to be playing here, but it's kind of caught my eye and something I would like to try. Because we're trying, let's do it down to just 1. I'm wondering if these pillages make sense. Pillage gets rid of some basics or lands that they kind of mess up with. It's maybe not a bad idea. Let's go 1 pillage and do an extra Necromentia. So we have 1 pillage, 2 Nile spell bombs. Yeah, I think this is good. Might bring in a 3rd Nile spell bomb for game 3 if we end up heading that direction. But I like what we have here. I think we're all right. Dark Confidant and a Channeler. Let's go ahead and keep. The Channelers don't do anything immediately, but the creature package here seems like it's a good start for us. Blood Crypt here, tapped and pass turn. My opponent's going to be trying to ramp, may have things in the yard, trying to get those things back. And so giving me time to draw extra things with Dark Confidant or even use my Channeler feels like the right line here. I'll probably start with Dark Confidant and look for Channelers after that. Triome Misty Rainforest for our opponent. We pick up another Dark Confidant. So we'll play Dark Confidant number 1, see if my opponent wants to Growth Spiral or counter this. Maybe even interact with a path. Misty Rainforest cracked here. Gets a basic. We're expecting a lot of basics. And it goes straight to their turn. They have nothing else. Misty Rainforest. Dark Confidant trigger. Bloodstain Mire. It's pretty good. Let's go ahead and try Liliana here. We're going to try Liliana because I can actually play 2 1-drops next turn. Get rid of a Sunbaked Canyon here. I don't see a reason really to attack this turn. I'll wait a turn in case they have an Ice Fang. My opponent could be playing Ice Fang, so I think it's okay to sit back here. Might seem a little weird, but I think it's okay. Especially since I'm going to be able to play probably 2 Magmatics. Alright, Dark Confidant trigger here. Get a land. Let's go up first. Get rid of our Sunbaked Canyon. Now I could play Seasoned Pyromancer and then a Spell Bomb. My opponent hasn't really discarded anything that's concerning to me. We attack. I think I'm good to try a Channeler here, and then, I don't know, maybe I just put a Spell Bomb down to keep their graveyard in check here. We have a Mana Leak. Well, oops. Let's just do the other Channeler here and see if that sticks. Testing my opponent if they have a double counter spell here for creatures. Has a lot of interaction, perhaps. Many lands here. Lots of lands. Opponent flooded out on their lands, it seems. Baiting out counterspells here also gives us the clear light for the Nile Spellbomb in our future. Opponent fetches and shocks here, putting themselves to 12. And gusts. I could pick this back up with the Dark Confidant and take whatever's underneath as well. Based on where we're at, I think that's an okay thing to do. My opponent has 3 cards here. Nothing really scary in the graveyard. We have a Scalding Tarn. Scalding Tarn can pick up an Aether Gust or a Mana Leak if they have the Mystic Sanctuary, which seems okay at this point. Picks up the Gust, or at least targets. They do pick it up. It is no longer here. So we have an Aether Gust. We have 2 spells here. We're going to draw Channeler and we draw a Spell Bomb. I think here I'm just going to go up for starters. Might even just get rid of the Seasoned Pyromancer at this point. Having 2 Spell Bombs here and 2 Dark Confidants 1 Channeler? That seems reasonable. Return target permanent and draw. Okay. They drew the Aether Gust. Let's get rid of Seasoned Pyromancer here still. This might be just a Dark Confidant and double Spellbomb turn. It could also be just Channeler. We know that they drew the Gust. They end up putting it in the yard. I don't know. I feel like Spellbomb and just a Liliana here might actually be smarter. Liliana, make them discard the last card and use the Spellbomb. Get rid of Dark Confidant here and try to hold on to Channeler. This seems like we've got a Death Grip. Opponent has 0 cards, draws for the turn, and gives up. Rakdos, Midrange. Taken down, match 1. Pretty handily there, too. A lot of value with the Dark Confidant. Pretty good. Pretty good. Feeling good. We'll see you in match 2. Match 1 under our belts. Feeling like we kind of know what we're doing. Feeling like maybe we got a little lucky. Either way, the list performing well. Let's keep it going. Match 2 here. Let's find an opponent. And we found our opponent. Let's play some Magic. Match 2. Rakdos. Midrange. In Modern. Opening hand looks great. Inquisition, Dark Confidant, Kroxa. Take something, play something, rinse, repeat. Absolutely fine with this. Basic Plains and an Aether Vial. Looks like we're going to be against a creature deck. Perhaps Spirits. Let's find out if I'm correct. Oh my gosh. That's a few Stoneforges. That's a few Stoneforges. Well, I don't have much of an option. We'll pick Stoneforge Mystic. Alright, Aether Vial goes up 1. We have mono white Taxes, which is what it looks like. Ghost Quarter played here, followed on with a Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. And Stoneforge Mystic goes and gets a Batterskull. Alright, so we have a Batterskull to beat. K-Command's an excellent way to deal with this. I think this turn, it might be okay here to play a Kroxa, because then the following turn I'm going to be doing a K-Command probably. See if they want to get rid of their land or maybe their extra Stoneforge Mystic here. I can probably shock in here too. Let's play Kroxa and set ourselves up for the future. For the future. Okay. And they get rid of the dunes. So we have Stoneforge, Batterskull, and an unknown. Aether Vial goes up to 2. Aether Vial puts something into 2. I'm hoping it's... Oh, it's Thalia. Thalia is pretty good here. Thalia stops K-Command and Liliana this turn. Looks like I should just play a Dark Confidant here. Pass the turn. Go get a Blood Crypt here. Batterskull is going to be into play. So Thalia stops us for 1 turn here. That's okay, though. We're in actually a pretty decent spot. Batterskull is playing, Stoneforge, and 2 unknowns. They also put Aether Vial up to 3. I will let them attack me. I'm tempted to block over here. If I block over here, I can then use Liliana, or sorry, K-Command to kill Batterskull and Thalia here. I don't get draws, but that's okay, because we're trying to fill for Kroxa here. Follow this with a Stone Forge again. Maul. They don't have their third land at the moment. It's a Blood Moon. I probably don't need to be playing Blood Moon here. It's probably just K Command. K Command killing Batterskull, killing... Batterskull Thalia, perhaps? Maybe I don't care about Thalia anymore. Maybe it's just Batterskull Stoneforge Mystic. Plan to play Kroxa next turn. I don't want them to have 3 mana so they can return this. I need to do this now. Destroy Batterskull. Maybe I just kill the Stoneforge. Even though this would be a 4/4, this would have flying and first strike with this Maul. Which would be okay, because then I would just down tick. Let's go ahead and do that so that if they get their third land here, they've got to play it on... they have to do the Maul on 3. Could have a Flicker Wisp here. And they do. Alright. So they flicker Batterskull and it comes back. This is pretty good of them. This saves them. I'm not sure they would use Aether Vial in that situation. They have the third here. They can make this 5, 9, 10, 11. So my opponent... Maul actually is not playable because of Thalia. So what do I do here? I draw another... Plays another Aether Vial, so we know it's Maul. I go to 1. I don't believe I have an out. Nope. Okay. Mono white taxes here. Mono white taxes. Let's see what we've got for this. Brutalities, Feed the Swarms, and Pillages all look interesting to me. Pillage can blow up a land, or more notably an artifact. Collective Brutality, for the most part, can kill just about everything, as can Feed the Swarm. The other thing that Feed the Swarm could do is get rid of a ley line. Let's not worry about a ley line. We have Fatal Pushes, we have Lightning Bolts. Let's get Pillage in first and then see what we've got left. You can make them sack an artifact, which is okay, and a creature, that's fine. Dreadboard's fine, Fatal Push fine. Blood Moon, even though they have the Ghost Quarters, they have some non-basics, I don't think this is the game for that. So Blood Moon's out. Let's bring a Collective Brutality and a Pillage in. Liliana feels like it could be decent. Inquisition Thoughtseize are probably fine on the play here. Maybe I take out a Dark Confidant here because they could gain life and just put one more Collective Brutality in and one Channeler out, one Feed the Swarm to keep them honest. Go for some really heavy removal here and try to win off the back of something like a Kroxa. Sure. This is where I'm leaning here. Game 1, I think we would have had a good shot at it if my opponent did not have 3 Stoneforge Mystics. 3 Stoneforge Mystics was a lot. I'm keeping more Channelers in than Dark Confidants just because our life total does matter in this game. My opponent has some evasive creatures, and I don't want those evasive creatures to catch me off guard with my life total around 10 or so. They have that Maul as well, so flying creatures, evasive creatures, definitely not what I want. All right, let's play first. The hand needs a second land. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I don't think it's worth keeping with that risk here. We're going to mulligan in the initial hand. Same problem, one lander. This isn't very good. This is not how we want it. Do I have the Fatal Push? Have an Angrath too. I've got to go one more time here. Can I have more than one land? More than one, please. There we go. All right. Pillage out. We'll keep a Thoughtseize. We'll get rid of one land. We'll get rid of the Dreadbore here. I suppose. All right. Fetch, Shock, and Thoughtseize. Quite a bit here. All right, we have a Giver, and a Flicker Wisp. Let's go ahead and take one of these Givers here. I can at least Fatal Push the next Giver, and then that leaves me open for the Leonin Arbiter. Opponent plays that Giver. We're going to nail that with a Fatal Push. We're going to play the Marsh Flats. It's a pretty easy fetch. And no shock here. And pass the turn. Seasoned Pyromancer was a good pickup here. If I can get my next land, we'll be in good shape here. Not doing too bad for a mull to what, 4? Stoneforge Mystic was ripped off the top. This might end us here. Finds a Batterskull. Alright, we get to Thoughtseize the Batterskull away. Which we will do. And we'll pass. Good rip on our part. Pretty good on theirs. Flicker Wisp is definitely still a threat here. Resetting Stoneforge Mystic. We have Leonin Arbiter and a Path to worry about. Looks like they play another Stoneforge Mystic. Now I can't remove these, so I'd almost need like another Inquisition or something. We'll Thoughtseize. We'll take them all. Pass the turn. I'm gonna take 2 damage here. More if they have a land. I suppose not really more if they... Alright, down to 7. Land. Leonin Arbiter. Land non-fetch. Alright. I'm just going to pay for this so I can have 6 through the turn here. We're going to take 4. We're going to go down to 3. I can find a land and K-command away the Leonin Arbiter. Opponent has a Thalia, and this game is wrapped up. Good game. Stoneforge Mystics. Lots of them. And mulling to 4, looking for just even a second land. I'll chalk that game up to some bad variants. Let's go to match 3. Let's win out from here. Going for the 4-1. See you in the next one. Match 3. Need to shake off that last one. That last one was some bad luck there in game 2. Game 1 was potentially winnable, but game 2 wasn't there for us. Match 3 though, playing the Rakdos Midrange in Modern. There we go. Our match opponent has been found. Let's play Magic. We are on the draw, which is okay. More lands. We'll keep this. The ability to fetch 2 basic swamps if need be. Blackcleave Cliffs, Double Blood Moon, Thoughtseize, and an Angraths. I will take it. A lot better than our last one. That's for sure. We'll have 6 through here. Verdant Catacombs for our opponent. Fetching. Our Thoughtseize will be gone here, I presume. Overgrown Tomb. Inquisition. Alright. Would you like to take my Blood Moon? Would you like my Angrath? Or do you want to protect your hand? Usually they try to protect their hand so that we don't have the information. Usually. And does so. All right, we find ourselves a blood crypt. That would give them information. You know what? I'm going to play the marsh flats here to get a basic swamp. That's what we're going to do. I don't want them to know about this blood crypt here. And if they play any creatures, we'll make them sacrifice that creature. Easy as that. Stomping ground here. Perhaps a Renin 6. We can make them even sacrifice that Renin 6. Tarmogoyf. Alright. Definitely probably going to kill the Tarmogoyf. Doing a fetch here. The marsh flats. Swamp. Here we go. We're looking pretty good to be able to Blood Moon them. Definitely looking forward to that. Sack a creature. Pass the turn back. Pass the turn back. All on you, opponent. We're planning to Blood Moon. Inquisition can take a Blood Moon. May take a Blood Moon. May take the Seasoned Pyromancer and just be like, well, we'll see what happens. Takes one Blood Moon. And passes the turn back to me. We're going to fetch for our basic swamp here. And slam down a Blood Moon. See if they have something that interacts with this. Appears they do not. Alright. Got some nice Seasoned Pyromancers following up here. We got probably some bolts from my opponent. Keep playing here and see what happens. We take down game 1. Opponent is not interested anymore. Okay. This matchup, probably some Feed the Swarms just as some extra removal. And that's probably all I care for at this point. I don't think I want the pillage, even though I could shut them off of a land. We'll just play naturally into our Blood Moons here. I think we've actually got a decent matchup. The question is, what do I want out for the Feed the Swarms? Perhaps I take 2 K commands out and just replace them with feeds. Yeah, we can do that. I think we're well suited for a mid-range versus mid-range matchup here. Collective Brutality can kill a couple things. I'm not super interested in that because I have Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, Dread Horde, Rampage, all of that. Oh, dang. We have Kroxa, which is a nice big threat at some point. I think I'm pretty happy with what's going on. My opponent's going to Thoughtseize us, or Inquisition. They Thoughtseize. They'll take the Blood Moon and leave us with a bunch of Thoughtseizes here. So Blood Moon hits the bin here. I'm going to go ahead and shock in. I know it takes a little more damage here, but that I'm okay with. We'll take Renin 6 because the other 2 spells come off at 3, and I can get to those before they get to play them. Stomping Ground, Swamp, Liliana, and K Command. Stomping Ground tapped here, and no follow-up. Alright, we've hit 2 Seasoned Pyromancers with the Thoughtseizes here. I think I'm still going to go ahead and fetch a basic Swamp. I know this puts us in a little bit of a risk of not being able to play out the Seasoned Pyromancers, but I don't think I'm too worried about that. Maelstrom Pulse, Lily, K Command. It's probably an easy Lily and an easy K Command here. Pulse doesn't scare me as much. Opponent plays that Swamp, and we have an unknown card over there. Completely happy to take a top deck land here. Oh, our opponent has disconnected. I hope that's not a disconnection in frustration. After all, we only have 2 lands. We'll see. We'll find out here shortly. No, they're back. Immediately back. Their cat just stepped on the exit Magic Online button, and we're back. They didn't say that, but I'll just assume. Give them a moment for Magic to reload here. There we go. Inquisition will take probably Seasoned Pyromancer. May actually take the Kroxa so they don't lose this card. Alright, they do that. Still has a pulse here. Looking for a red land. We've set ourselves up a little bit here. Maybe I should have just fetched and shocked in for some extra damage to us. We'd be at 9, which is a little sketchy. Looks like I'm rewarded though. We do find our extra red source. Seasoned Pyromancer, looking for one more land source. We don't find it, but we do find an Inquisition and a Channeler. I can Inquisition away the Pulse and put the Channeler into play, which is pretty nice. Forest played here. So let's take the Pulse. Take the Pulse, play the Channeler, and then we have a Bolt. Looking pretty good, and then we can use the Channeler to find what we need for the Kroxa. The Channeler also, I believe, is a 4/4. Next few draws were lands. But we take it down. Mid-range versus mid-range. Definitely felt like we had a little bit of the upper hand, having exactly what we needed game 1 into game 2. And we've got another win. 2 down, 1 loss, 2 to go. See you in the next one. Match 4. When you think about it, match 2 was triple Stoneforge. Match 3 was triple Thoughtseize. When you're able to just play those out like clockwork, seems like your list is fairly consistent, right? Match 4 here, playing the Dark Confidant, Channeler, Blood Moon, Liliana, mid-range list with the Kroxa. And we found our opponent. Let's play Magic Match 4. Here we go. Get to play first. Always a nice thing when you've got the Thoughtseize deck. Here we go again. 1-landers. We're going to mulligan these. I don't feel like this is a deck you could safely keep a 1-lander, especially on the play. Alright, we've got a few here. I'm pretty happy with this. I think... Honestly, I think I could actually get rid of this Blood Moon. I could get rid of a land here. I'm tempted to do the Blood Moon, though. Maybe I get rid of the Bolt. You know what? We're gonna just do Blood Moon. We're just gonna do Blood Moon. I'm gonna Inquisition. I'm gonna Kroxa them, and I have the removal spell. Should be good, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, what a play. What a play. Alright, so we have the Soulscar Mage. We have a Kiln Fiend as well. We have a Bedlam Reveler to deal with. So here, probably just play Soulscar Mage down, and then we'll get the Kiln Fiend later. Especially since I can Kroxa here on turn 2, and then turn 3 Bolt plus something else. We don't have anything else in our hand that cares about the Lightning Bolt. I feel really good now that I put that Blood Moon away. For sure, mountain for our opponent. Okay, we're actually going to go ahead and fetch here. Fetch for a basic. And I should be pretty good here on out. Play the Kroxa. And pass the turn. My opponent will discard a card. Maybe they'll discard the Lightning Bolt. Who knows? Kroxa doing Kroxa things. Sacrifice and makes a discard. Manamorphose. Alright. Manamorphose is gone. Extra mountain played here. Kiln Fiend down. We have a removal for this. We're just going to remove it now. And pass the turn. Lightning Bolt, Bedlam Reveler, and 3 unknowns. We need a few more cards here for Kroxa. We can get there, though. Swift Spear, Lightning Bolt, Bedlam Reveler, and just a Swift Spear. In, goes to 18. I presume I'm getting this back. Oh, Lightning Bolts me. Setting up for that future Bedlam Reveler. We have Lightning Bolt, Manamorphose in the yard here. Oh, double Lightning Bolts. All right, down to 13, down to 10. 1, 2, 3. All right, Bloodstained Mire puts a 4th card in the bin. Need like a removal here for the Swift Spear. Manamorphose. It's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is worth 4 right now, the Bedlam Reveler. Soulscar Mage. Okay. Get a Blood Crypt here. We're looking for a 1 mana removal spell into playing Kroxa, hopefully. Opponent attacks for 2, puts me to 7. It's looking scary. 1 mana. Alright, Seasoned Pyromancer is not the worst. Get to play Seasoned Pyromancer. This sets us up for Kroxa next turn. We'll see what we end up top decking here. A Thoughtseize. 1, 2, 3. Currently has Manamorphose, Bolt, Bolt, and Manamorphose. 1, 2, 3, 4. If they top deck a land, this is really bad. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize away the Bedlam Reveler. I go to 5, which is really scary. 5, but I have a Seasoned Pyromancer. If my opponent draws dead here, we're looking pretty good. Oh, they don't even attack. They don't even attack. This is an easy play, the Kroxa. It was a land. It was a land. Alright, Kroxa's coming down. Kroxa down. We'll play the Sunbaked Canyon, planning to cantrip this. We'll probably just do that immediately, so I can get full value out of our next turn. Dark Confidant, probably something I don't want to use. We'll stay back with everything. Dark Confidant will just stay in the hand. Opponent top decks a land here, does nothing. Removal spell, and I get in with Kroxa. Alright, land. Seasoned Pyromancer. We get a token, which is nice. This allows me to attack with Kroxa. Find ourselves with a Channeler. We'll play that in as well. And now I can attack with both creatures. Let's go. Let's go. Hanging on by a thread here at 5. Deals 3 because they have nothing to discard. Might be doing 8 more. Down to 6. I don't believe they have a card that they could top deck that could kill me. They top deck into a land. 3. They can block here, block here. We just win. Bam. In with everything. Puts them to 3. And we get them dead. Woo! Small misplay there. Could have used the Sunbaked Canyon just to have an extra instant or sorcery in the yard. Never would have grown the Channeler, but just something we need to be cautious of with the Kroxa escaping cards away. Okay. I think this is a heavy Collective Brutality matchup. I don't know if I want a Spell Bomb or not. Spell Bomb to get rid of the Bedlam Reveler being cheap is a thing. It could help get rid of Lava Darts as well. Just something to think about. Blood Moon's definitely out here. I almost think that it's okay to take Dark Confidants, which would give me room for like a Feed the Swarm or the Spell Bomb that we're talking about. I might even trim one Thoughtseize, even though it was super decent there. not exactly what I want to be doing. So maybe like Spell Bomb and 1 feed. Really just killing these creatures is probably our best bet. So if we think that line, we could even take out another Thoughtseize, do another feed, another Thoughtseize, another Spell Bomb. Maybe just go like that. Just play a little more reactive since we're going to be on the draw. Which doesn't feel like a bad idea. It feels like a reasonable one. And I don't want to overload with Spell Bombs. Let's get rid of the last Thoughtseize and just make it a Feed the Swarm. And let's see, when I'm able to just remove your creatures, does that give me enough time? Most of their creatures are going to do 2 to 5 damage probably before I can remove them. So killing one immediately and not having it pumped out of range feels like it's an okay thing to be doing. Hand's pretty good except the Sunbaked Canyon, but I'll keep it. We have a Soulscar Mage here. Let's go ahead and just bolt the Soulscar Mage. No reason for that to be around. Now we have a feed, and I have an Inquisition. Swift Spear from our opponent. Follows it up with a Crash Through. This is a perfect example where I might just hit this with a feed. Let's fetch for a basic. I really feel like this is just a feed turn here. It's just 1 extra damage, and that's okay because it clears the Swift Spear. My opponent does Manamorphose, Bolt again. That's going to be 3, 4, 5 something damage. All right, we have a Swift Spear again. We have a Spike to our face. In for 2. Puts me to 11. Here, probably just K-Command right now. Let's make them discard and shoot the Swift Spear. Get rid of a Kozilek's Return. Maybe the right card to be bringing in. Alright. Let's go ahead and Inquisition, see what's up. I can Spell Bomb to clear the yard here as well. That way they don't have an easy Bedlam Reveler. We might even do that with a Blackcleave Cliffs here. Puts me to 7. Puts me to 4. Take the Burst Lightning here. I'm going to play a Spell Bomb, and we're actually going to just fire this Spell Bomb off now. I'm not going to do it off the Sunbaked Canyon here because I don't want to go to 3. Your move, opponent. 2 lands. What is this? Don't do it. Land. Okay. That's alright. Ooh, Season Pyromancer and go to 1? Or put a Channeler out. Sorry, go to 3. Going to 3 seems dangerous here. Let's do Channeler and pass the turn. It's a 4/4. Blocks things. We'll see if they fire off this Fiery Islet anyway. Again, I don't want to make it easy for them. I need them to have probably 2 spells here. Fiery Islet, and we have an unknown card. Plays a Soul Guy Lantern. That's fine. They'll exile something. What? Probably doesn't really matter. Love to take a basic here. So they do shrink the Channeler. It's not a basic. Let's play Spell Bomb and try to find that basic here. Nothing is basic. We're going to do a no attack here and activate Channeler on their turn. Fiery Islet, cantrips here. So afraid to go to 3. Maybe this fear will end up killing me, though. I can always put a 4th. Feed the Swarm in. Wow. Fiery Islet again. Perhaps I'm not using the Feed the Swarm. I don't really want to be fetching either. Let's get rid of the Bloodstain Mire for first here. Should do this on our turn, right? Another Channeler here. I'll take another Channeler, I suppose. This is actually a lot of damage. This is now a 2-turn clock. Just by attacking. Maybe I go for it here. Trying not to go below to 3. 2 Channelers. Fires a Lava Dart off. Okay. Well, I'm at 3 now. I can probably fetch the Marsh Flats. Oh, don't have it. Soulscar Mage, okay. Land. Alright, what we're going to do here is I need to dodge a few things here. I could be fetching a Marsh Flats, Blood Crypt tapped, play Seasoned Pyromancer, just bashing with some Channelers. What I'm going to do here is not do anything, use Feed the Swarm. I'm going to go to 2, Lava Dart means I'm at 1. I'm going to bash for 8. And we're going to see if it's enough. Now I don't really want to bash for 8 because I have another Channeler here. Or sorry, I can bash for 8 and then leave a Defender up. Man, Channelers are pretty good. Let's go for it. Let's go for our line. Let's not overthink it. We'll give them a draw here to find their counter. Or not their counter, their damage. In with both. Don't care. You find a creature, you win. It's got to be a hasty creature. Cantrips, Fiery Islet. Down to 7 they go. Top deck. And that draw, they have Lava Dart, Land Drop, plus, oh, the Bolt. Maybe my skittishness, I should have just gone for it since they had a bunch of Fiery Islets. We don't know that, though. We don't know that. All right, we're going to go to Game 3. Game 3. Fatal Push would have been nice. Yeah, I think we've got what we need. Just need a slightly less painful mana base, and I think we'd be good. Having 3 Sunbaked Canyons, it's not going to come up very often, but it happened to come up here where we took a little bit too much damage. I think we're good. We've got what we need. Let's go. Let's play Game 3. Okay, we're going to keep this because it's essentially a mana... The mana base is completely free of damage. I'm going to play my Cliffson, Dreadbore, Lightning Bolt. Just kill everything we see on site. It's a good example of something to kill. Goodbye. Goodbye. Mana base is going to start hurting me, but I can also just cantrip a lot of this mana base, so that's good for us. I want to keep my life total as high as possible. We have another Soulscar Mage here. Ooh, now I could collect a Brutality. 2-mode this. Kill and go after the hand here. That's probably worth a Sunbaked Canyon here. This is going to be my 4th land anyway. This feels good. Alright, we have Lava Dart, Crash Through, Lightning Bolt, and a Manamorphose. Let's take the Lightning Bolt. Kiln Fiend I can kill. My opponent doesn't have another land here. They finally draw it. They play a Kiln Fiend. We can kill that. Alright, let's cantrip a Sunbaked Canyon here to see what else we hit before using this Dreadbore. We had a Kroxa, so we'll get to that. We're going to kill the Kiln Fiend and throw it back my opponent's way. All right. Looking pretty good here. Follow up is a Manamorphose. Makes double red, obviously. We have 1, 2, 3 now. Lava Dart. Light up the stage. Light up in Bedlam Reveler here. All right, so we have light up the stage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Bedlam Reveler's a little cheaper here. I think we play land and we just go for a Seasoned Pyromancer, ditching Kroxa. No real reason to utilize Kroxa here. This will let us draw a little bit. Looks good. We'll just fetch, go get a Blood Crypt here, and pass the turn. Right now, both of these cards are not really castable, so that's kind of nice off the light up the stage for us. Lava Darts, and this was out of hand. Okay. Are we going to light up the stage from here? Lights the stage, hits no lands, which is actually really bad for them. Their Bedlam Reveler is now online, so if I got a Spell Bomb, I would use it. Feed the Swarm's a nice little addition here, because it will be able to kill the Bedlam Reveler. Let's go ahead and bring back Kroxa here, getting rid of as many lands as possible before going after our instants and sorceries. We avoid a Soul Guide Lantern here with this Kroxa as well. My opponent ditches a light up the stage. No, sorry. Ditch a crash through. We'll attack for our 3 damage. Nice. Looking pretty good. I've got Liliana to kill Bedlam Reveler. I've got Feed the Swarm to kill Bedlam Reveler. Manamorphose. Double red. We're looking like we're ahead here. Bedlam Reveler. Do they find a land? They do. We found a land. Do we want to play Soul Guide? The answer is no. We're going to play Lily down tick here. I'm okay with losing this Liliana, possibly. We're attacking with Kroxa. Some people would be saying Shock, Feed the Swarm. Shock, Feed the Swarm, and go up. I like this option here, because if they want to, they can throw some damage at Liliana. And this will gain us a little bit of life. We're already doing 6, 7, 8, 9 damage here, plus the 3. They dismember Kroxa here, taking 4... and they Lava Dart it, and Kroxa happens. They still take 3 here, and that puts them to 5. I don't believe I put my land in play, but that's okay. My opponent has 2 painful lands here, and they're at 4. Currently, we're representing 3 damage here. Lava Darts Liliana, but it doesn't matter because of the painful mana base. We get this. A couple different ways to slice the bread there at the end. I like our line. Got another Kroxa coming. Our opponent kind of stumbles there, and we take advantage of it. We take down the match. Currently 3-1 overall. Let's see if we can get that 4-1 that we talked about. Next match. Let's go. Match 5. Running them all the way through. 3-1 so far with the mid-range list. This is definitely my kind of cup of tea. I like this Kroxa Skelemental list. I feel like I'm definitely very interested in these red-black deck lists, and so this one definitely fits into my wheelhouse here. Let's play another one. Match 5 coming up right here. And we found our opponent. Let's go. Okay, we are not on the play. But that's okay. We're gonna keep this a little bit of that angry mana base again. Radiant Fountain. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think Blood Moon might be pretty good in this matchup. We'll just have to see. We'll start with an Inquisition here, see what we can steal. I see an Azusa and I see a Dismember. Well, love to be able to use the Channeler a bit. But I think I've got to get rid of the Azusa here. That'll be okay. We're going to Blood Moon him. Don't worry. Cavern of Souls here. Name's Giant, obviously. We're going to slap down a Channeler here as our first card. We'll see if we can get them to use that Dismember. Now, without another basic swamp, reanimating Kroxa here is going to be tough. But I do think we need to play Blood Moon sooner rather than later. Although, if they get the Dryad, then we're in trouble. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe they won't touch this. I'll get lucky and get to use something. Pitch and, you know, do the things. Another amulet here. Definitely want to be playing this Blood Moon. Like I said, it's just going to be a little bit hard for us to play the Kroxa after doing this. We have a lot of red cards in our list. Plays the castle down. Does a little bit of untapping here. Doesn't float any mana. We have Dismember Forest and an unknown card. Alright, we'll take 1 damage here. Play Blood Moon. And we'll attack with a point here. Just gonna let it happen here. Wanted to get the Blood Moon down. We'll get there. We'll get there. We can't play Liliana. We can't escape Kroxa right now. But everything else is playable. Simic Growth Chamber here. Nothing happening. Speaking of. Play Kroxa here. They're not going to get rid of that forest. So we're going to get whatever the other card is. They want to keep that forest. Prime time. Alright. Play the forest. On us. Can't do anything. We're going to just go back and forth for a little bit. We couldn't get the Kroxa back anyway. We find our swamp here, which is great. We'll go ahead and play Liliana. We'll uptick. This is going to get our Kroxa online sooner rather than later. I can bolt. I will bolt them here since they played the land. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just uptick here, getting rid of Dark Confidant so I can actually play Kroxa here. Kroxa is going to be a faster clock than this Dark Confidant. Dark Confidant probably wins over the long game, but I think Liliana plus Kroxa here, my opponent can't really do anything. I'm going to attack, and I'm going to get rid of the card if they don't play it. If it's a creature, I kill the card and I swing for 9 anyway, and then my next swing is lethal. So we're asking them to have the answer to everything right there. This matchup feels like Pillage, maybe Necromentia to name like Titan. I think Feed the Swarm could be a little bit stronger here than a few of our other cards. We're going to keep Blood Moon. I think we keep Dark Confidant. I'm feeling like I trim maybe a pair or all 3 Fatal Pushes to replace them with Feed the Swarm. K-Command could get rid of the Amulet and a creature, but I'm going to play this Necromentia, letting them have that. The Rampage doesn't seem very good here because Rampage is sacrifice like a creature. They could have multiple creatures, and they usually do when they're playing the Titan down. And I think out of everything, I'm going to drop 1 Bolt here as well. Anything else? Could bring in a K-Command to deal with one of these amulets. We got to deal with it by turn 2. I've convinced myself to bring 1 more K-Command back for a Lightning Bolt. With that, let's go. Blood Moon, Pillage. Let's see if we can get the Necromentia on Titan. Let's play our mid-range Rakdos game plan. You know I have to keep seeing this in the hand. The starting hand has the Necromentia. Yes, we're going to play it. Let's go. Just name that Titan. Just name it. Oh, and I get to Thoughtseize here starting too. This is really looking good. Looking pretty good. We have a Tireless Tracker and a Dryad. We have an Amulet we're contesting with. I guess the Tireless Tracker I'm more likely to be able to kill immediately. Dryad's kind of a pain, especially with the Valakut. I have more outs to the tracker, being that it's an X and 2 immediately. If it grows beyond that, then the Dryad and the tracker are kind of the same thing. We'll do it this way. Besides, it's just Vesuva. It's just Vesuva. They have this awkward Simic Growth Chamber here that's going to bounce some stuff. Do you just play that and bounce Valakut? Probably not, right? This next turn's probably just Swamp Channeler here. I like Swamp Channeler. Channeler's been really nice. I also love the art on this. This is keep an eye on this card. This card is something. I think it might be just the right thing for maybe us to try in Pyroprism. Not sure yet. Thinking about it. Simic Growth Chamber, we're going to, I presumably bounce Valakut, so Valakut is in hand. And that is their turn. I'm going to play Channeler down here. Go ahead, opponent. So we can look for a removal spell for Tireless Tracker, or we can play Necromentia. Opponent plays Forest here. We have Valakut, Vesuva, Tireless Tracker. My opponent does nothing. Let's activate this. Let's get rid of a Sunbaked Canyon. So many lands. So many lands. All right, well, Necromentia. Targeting them, naming Primeval Titan. Ta-da. Oh gosh, they had 2 in hand. That gives them stuff. Alright, what else do we have to beat here? So we know Tireless, Valakut, and Vesuva. We have Field of the Dead, Dryads, and Valakuts. Alright. They do get a few zombies here. They get a few zombies. Not so worried about the zombies. We'll get around to killing those. Tireless Tracker here. Simic Growth Chamber, copying to bounce. They'll bounce a land here so they can get more with the Tireless Tracker over the course of this game. Would love to find a removal spell for this Tireless Tracker here. Pillage. Let's use this. Let's get rid of a Marsh Flats. Could play Kroxa this turn. Kroxa get to play it next turn. That's a good way to get around this Tireless Tracker. Looking at pillaging a land, but I don't think I want to pillage a land. I think this is a fine line here. Makes them discard. We'll fetch. Playing a land here, they can eat 2 lands. This grows us to a 5/4, and then we have some zombies. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Puts me to 3. A little bit questionable. We'll see if that's what they want for their entire turn here. It does look like that is going to be their entire turn here. It's a 5/4, 9 damage coming through. It's a lot. Down to 3. Another channeler. Well, I think it's got to be Kroxa here. Make them discard again. I'll play the Sunbaked Canyon now, but I'm not really planning to use this at any point. 3 mana. Reconsiders. We know that Valakut's there, and that would be a great target for the pillage. Azusa finds her way into the game. We have Valakut, so this can at least be a 6/5. Do they want to make it that, though? Plays a Growth Chamber here. Okay. Do we have an untapped land? Tireless Tracker goes up to being a 6/5. Vesuva makes it a forest. Comes into play tapped. And Valakut. Okay. If they attack, they lose their Tireless Tracker here. Just depends on if they want to do that. They might be pretty okay with that. It looks like they are. I think I have to just take the 2. I don't think I want to swap this in any fashion because then it'll outgrow Kroxa. I think I'm going to going to 1. Another channeler? Let's cantrip the Sunbaked Canyon here. I have a Dark Confidant here. It doesn't do a lot for me. Alright, our opponent takes it. Looking for a bolt there or a fatal push. I took the fatal pushes out, so we were just looking for bolt there. Dang. Okay. Kind of want to bring some of these lightning bolts back in. We would have been so much better if they didn't have 2 titans there. Having the 2 zombies just attacking us was pretty good. I think I still leave my Necromencias in. Maybe I drop 1 Liliana here for a lightning bolt. And since I'm on the play, 1 Thoughtseize for a lightning bolt as well. We'll try that. I think we were good, and we knew the hand was clear of Primeval Titan. They just happened to top deck there, and it did punish us a little bit. We'll keep it in, though, and let's play some Magic. Alright, we'll keep this. I've got the Blood Moon. I have the Pillage. Got a Kroxa. Got a second Kroxa. Gonna shut ourselves out of black mana pretty rapidly here. That'll be okay. Who needs black mana to win the game? Not this guy. Not this guy. Alright. Black Cleave Cliffs. Pass the turn. On you, opponent. Basic Forest. Amulet of Vigor. Play a Kroxa here. Make them discard something. We'll see what their 3-drop is here. Azusa would be painful to see. It's a Field of the Dead. Okay. I need enough time here to deal with this forest. Amulet with a Teleria West. And no follow-up. Alright. Blood Moon it is. I need them to not have Dryad here. If they don't have Dryad, then I can pillage away the forest. They do have a Dryad. Okay. I think I still pillage away the forest here. We're going to try to find our black mana with the Seasoned Pyromancer, holding Dreadbore to maybe kill the Dryad. Because right now they can kind of play whatever they want due to this Dryad. We have a Scout. Not so worried about that card. Hits for 2. Down to 17. Top of the library is another pillage. They didn't have another land. It's almost tempting to just pillage away. I probably need to find black though. Can I take another turn here just to pillage? Set them back? Let's do it. Let's get rid of the Teleria West here. Set them back. Set them back. Seasoned Pyromancer making 1, maybe 2 tokens here. Will be plenty of blockers and plenty of time. In for 3. Looks like no land still. Oh, I just hit the black source. Let's go ahead and Dreadbore the Dryad here. Seasoned Pyromancer, make a token, put Kroxa in the yard. Look for that extra black here. Maybe get Kroxa back. It's all coming together here. Blood Moons and Pillages. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, Dismember. Okay. I still make a token. Still make a token. Dark Confidant and Liliana, huh? Okay. Oh. Let's attack for 1. See if they want to block here. I'd probably just get rid of the Amulet and pick up the Seasoned Pyromancer here. Just get some more redraws. Don't need to worry about the Scout. Don't particularly want to play the Dark Confidant. Don't really need to. We've got a nice little token here. I can replay Seasoned Pyromancer to get more tokens. We can go wide on our opponent's board. We can just take it all to them. I think we'll get here. There you have it. 4-1 Rakdos Midrange in Modern. We'll see you all in the conclusion and talk about what we thought on this list. 4-1-4-1 playing Rakdos Midrange. What do we think? I started to talk a little bit about it in between matches, but red-black seems to be where my home is for sure. Definitely liking the color combination, and this is absolutely no exception to that rule. Magmatic Channeler. This card, I think it's got a lot of potential. I think it's an excellent Dark Confidant 3 through 6 here. So you have 6 of those effects. I really think that this is definitely a card that could... It just works. You have the Channeler here. You can get the Kroxas out. You're discarding a card. I just think that really works nicely in our advantage. The Blood Moon, we get shut out a couple times from time to time because of all the Sunbaked Canyons and non-swamps we have, but we were able to dig for those. And really, we only care about Liliana and Kroxa. For the most part, we can actually just win the game if we Blood Moon our opponent out. Feed the Swarm's been a nice addition in case we run into those Leyline decks. Could even run into Boggles and you can deal with that a bit better. Running into just creature matchups like we saw, this was pretty decent as well. So I'm pretty happy about that. list on the whole was a blast. Really enjoyed it. I think there is argument for Liliana still being good in Modern. This might be one of those shells that you could definitely play her in. There you have it though, Rakdos Midrange. As always, if you've enjoyed yourself, do consider subscribing. It helps support the channel, gives you the notification when a video goes live. Trying to keep up the one a day video. We did it in September and we're pretty good so far in October. Let's see if we can continue to do it. Share the channel with your friends and we'll see you guys next time. Next match, we'll see what it is. Till then, take care.